Hello, and welcome back to our continuing Settlement Survival New Trade Systems series. I'm Larry. It's episode 26, and I have a whole lot of fun things to show you since the previous episode. Yeah, I figured I'd do some building, just get a little fire lit up and, just get things just rolling along. And my sole intention was just get our industrial zone built up. But during that time of building this zone, I had this massive population explosion. I'm used to them, but nothing like this has ever happened. Granted, I'm on year 65 now, which, I think I tacked on 15 years since the last episode, 17 years, something like that. But this number up here for laborers was literally 265. I think it peaked at 317. I had to go through the whole map, and I had to build more just to try to get this number down. Since the last episode, I have not accepted a single immigrant. And they're coming in around 43 now, 47 when immigrants show up. It is, I don't know what they have done to the UI or the AI, but it is gone completely bonkers. That's the only way I can explain it. The amount of people that I have homeless is, I cannot keep this number down, no matter what I do. And they're all coming from the boarding school. I went ahead and added the boarding school. And every time somebody graduates from here, it's like pulling teeth to get them to go live someplace. The numbers were so crazy that I wound up building this area just to deal with the issue. But if you notice, I have a homeless student here who just graduated. I had plenty of housing right here. But this one has been hanging around since, I don't know, year 64 in August or something like that. I think part of the AI might be gone a little wild, maybe broken. I honestly don't know, because I'm breeding nothing but homeless people when it comes to the boarding schools. Sometimes they will go into the luxury apartments. Sometimes they won't. I've done all sorts of building just to get them to take up residence, and they're just like, nope, we don't feel like it. And I'm like, oh, please. And just like, I still have students in the housing, which cracks me up, because I know I have to close all the schools. That I get. But it's like, it's a never-ending cycle. So, that's one thing that's been going on. But this trading system is so incredible, but it's a curse at the same time, because I have these two dense forest farms, and they rarely get any type of fertilizer because I have not played with the animals whatsoever. So they're rarely getting fertilized, and they are just producing like there's nobody's business. These new dense things, the dense farms, they're just pumping things out. I don't even know if I'm going to be using plantations anymore. It's so overpowered. At least it seems like to me. I mean, for the size, and they only take 3 people. It's no more, we can put I think it was what, six to eight people into these. I mean, these I have not converted yet. Look how many people that these things can take, and I haven't even changed them yet. So they're only producing 677, where, 441, 677, and these things are cranking out. I just started these, literally, and it's 1271. It's twice as much. So it's something that we're going to have to get used to. It's crazy. I don't know if they have to rebalance things or any of that. I'm so used to building things, and now I'm creating more space for my trees. This is what it's supposed to look like when I have the forester set properly. All this nice heavy tree action. I accidentally, this forester over here, I had it on plant and fell trees. I just switched it over to plant trees. So it's all going to start looking like this area here. But I really like this. This is pretty. It's a whole lot nicer than the scarcity. So when I start consolidating houses, I'm going to start making sure I have more room for foresters so I can get it all nice and lush looking like this, because that's beautiful. But this hardwood, I cannot believe with how fast it grows. I'm trading this stuff off like there's no tomorrow. Now, I had just changed I don't know why this one is setting at 0. I didn't think I moved this one. But now I'm growing bamboo. And the bamboo, it grows all year now, which is really weird. Just like I've noticed on these crops where it's 28 degrees, where everything should be frozen and vaporized off of this, it's allowing it to be still harvested, which that confuses me, because I so used to plants dying off if you don't get them harvested in time, but no, they're staying alive. So I don't know if that's the way they intended it or if it's a bug. I have no clue. Believe me, I like it. Seeing stuff not die in the cold is really awesome. But all these new buildings that we're able to put in, they do a whole lot more than any of our old buildings. It's to a point now to where it's my old building style. It's like incompatible, because things are so amplified that just trying to keep up is driving me a little batty. I just threw down all these fish because of just trying to deal with the population. And even with this fertility rating, I should be starving for laborers, but I'm getting way too many of them. It was so bad that I had to put the skeleton in a bottle on the map to shorten lifespan. And that's the very first time that I've done that on a map just to control the population. I'm seriously looking forward to even possibly bringing in the Great Temple just so I can sacrifice people, because the population is so out of control. And it's just like, wait a minute, I haven't done anything different than I normally do. But under this new system, it's like, oh, well, guess what? This is what's happening to you now. And I didn't understand it at first, and I actually still really don't. I had somebody comment, what do you do, when you're at this size population? I want to increase happiness and all that. I don't want my happiness to go any higher because the breeding is just but the trading is so much easier now. And the pricing, forget about the pricing. You start to manufacture stuff so fast that it's pretty much irrelevant. I'm sending off ships of water just to keep my water under control. And I know people would say, well, scale back, but I don't know if they're being more efficient. I don't have a clue. One, because usually at this point in time of the game, you have like maybe 20,000 water floating around, 30,000 water. It's still in the green, but you're not having mass amounts of it. But so this whole commodities thing, let's see if I can find one for you. I think books, because now with all the research complete, I tore down all of the research academies. So now I'm trading books. But this is what we're getting. If I trade with Mao, I'm receiving $22.56 for a book, which to me, I really don't care at this point. I know a lot of people think that, you only have 193,000 in here. It's to a point to where it's like, that's no big deal. It's hard. It's difficult to explain, but the pricing. Let's see. Go over to Carlos, because I did manage to open up the seeds for him. So if I go over here to buying, you want to see some crazy seed prices? This is definitely it. Oh, it's still on Mal. I don't want Mal. I want Carlos. Give it to me. Carlos is going to be the only one that shows seeds when you unlock them. Look at these seed prices. They are dirt cheap. I don't even care about the merchant ship. The neutral guy, I don't even care about him anymore. It's to a point to where, okay, if I have to order an animal from him, fine, whatever. But trading with him is ridiculous. For one seed, I can pick up like 4 or 5 seeds from Carlos, and I haven't even bought all the seeds yet. I actually have. I don't have that many seeds because you don't need them. This is one of the crazy buildings. Let me see if I can find it for you. You know how we have to make fodder with corn and like some type of bean, like soybean or something like that? Oh, I might have deleted them. Oh, they have a building here with Carlos. If you feed it cactus, it gives you fodder. Yes. Can you believe it? So now you don't have to worry about, I have to worry about this, I have to worry about that, I have to worry about this. No, you don't. No, you don't have to deal with that anymore. It's not an issue anymore. You can just feed it cactus. Because I opened up 3 more cactus, and that's all you have to do now. They have streamlined the game huge as far as what we need to grow. I haven't even started into steel tools yet. And look at this. At this population, and I'm still sitting on 1,200 tools. I just don't know if the game's out of balance or if just they've increased the efficiency of everything. But I also know that having my housing right on top of all my manufacturing and just melding everything together is absolutely beautiful. People are not pathing. Having my transfer stations, they're bringing in stuff that I need, stuff that I don't need. It's bouncing all around, all over the place. I bring in some of the big supply stations if it's going to be supplying multiple different industries. So that makes my life so much easier. Right now, I have this one feeding my watermills. And I can tell you this right now, you're going to be using the dig tool huge. It's water power is definitely a must. I tried to stay with these, with their production to try to keep it down to a minimum. And the land mills could not keep up. The water mills are doing an excellent job. But even with these fields, I had, I think, six or eight land mills, and they weren't keeping up, but these ones finally are. And look at this little magical item we have here. Tofu. It's a simple food. So all I have to do is go grow my soybeans, put it in the mill, and now I have a simple food. And no more, because I was preparing to salt up and get the salted fish production going like crazy, and that's how I was going to introduce the simple foods. But now, nah, they've taken the hard part away. It's like, oh, get a soybean, get the better fields, and voila. So it's trying to adapt to how they're doing things now, and I cannot keep up, and it's really confusing me because I'm used to building nurseries. I'm no stranger to building nurseries, but with all the nurseries I have on the map, I should be banking this like there's no tomorrow. But I don't know what happened, but about starting 3 years ago, all of a sudden, my herbage started to tank. And it started to tank right after I upgraded my first hospital, or my first clinic. When I went to start upgrading them, all of a sudden, all my herbs started to tank. And I still haven't figured out why. It just does not make sense to me of why things are going as nutty as they are, because I don't see why they should be. Nothing looks any different to me. But all of a sudden, now, it's just going crazy. And I have hospitals all over the place. And people are getting hurt left and right. So maybe that is a big chunk of it, is since people are hurting so bad, I'm burning through herbs that way. But it's kind of funny. For an ankle sprain, we're using herbs for an ankle sprain. But that's, they have a foot fracture. But yeah, but let's get back to the trading. It's weird to get used to. Who do you go to first? Who do you want to trade with? And when you're dealing with these factions, I'm capped out with Mao. This is like building a great temple. This thing is huge. And I haven't even put it on the map yet. It is just massively large. And you have to destroy your town hall to be able to build it. Because see how the town hall's blacked out? Well, go over to, let's see if I can find it here. Oh, where's it at? I forgot where it's at. But the thing is massive. It is just, I thought it was here. No, there it is. It goes into the blueprints. But it's 45 by 24. And look at the mats that it takes. Almost 10,000 planks. Almost 10,000 brick. And 1,000 of those, of the building kits. This thing is huge. Just for 10 administrators. So, yeah, that was kind of a shock. I did not expect a price like that. And this little guy over here, it's not cheap to build. And so be careful for this. But I was able to get rid of, I had 3 cemeteries here. So now we just have this one. So it's been interesting. So it's freed up space here. But now I'm thinking, okay, since it's freed up that space, since I did something like this with the dig tool for these water mills, that maybe I should do the same thing with the new, oh yes, there is a new nursery now, the water nursery. The water nursery is larger than the regular nursery, but it will allow you to harvest faster. It's more efficient. And that is this building right here with Carlos. So I haven't attempted to play with this yet, but now we have Obsidian Mines. And the Obsidian Mines, I'll show it to you, but they're kind of weird. But here's the Itza. So I showed you that on the building, and I've showed you the trade seeds. But the Obsidian Mine is its own mine. So when you're placing your maps or your mines, remember you might want to keep some extra mountains around for this. Because where we're used to being able to click on a mine and change its recipe, just like here, they took that away. They added a whole new mine now for obsidian. And I wound up building all these obsidian mines strictly just to get people employed. And I'm afraid to turn the map on because you'll watch it. It's trying to get this number down, trying to get this number down of the homeless. It's driving me batty. It's not easy. So I went ahead and opened these up so I can get us into better clothing. But I don't know what's going to happen with these guys, because I'm used to having to spam these things all over the map. But with how much things are producing over here in the bamboo, I'm afraid to put too many down, because they're just producing a whole lot more. So when it comes to a building strategy, it's like I'm confused. I don't know what to do anymore, because I no longer know what to expect, because they've changed the AI so much that it's just trying to get a thought process going to see how things work now. Just like I added the scarecrows and the hose just to see what they would do on their production. And they are just, they're killing it. Now, the thing that does confuse me is in the dense crops, it does say that we can grow crops here and 2 crops can be planted per grid. So what is weird is you'd think it's like 2 different crops. No, if you notice the graphic, it's a double of everything. So this is literally 2 big squares, or a couple. It's a couple of these. Where are they? Am I over? Yeah. So right now, if I convert this agave over to one of those dense fields, it's like having 2 agave. So right now, I could reduce the amount of what I have going on over here and turn it into housing, because I don't need all this, because I turned around and planted 4 of my linen right here. But you'd think that I would be going crazy with an overflow of flax, but here, these guys, they're keeping up. Oh, has anybody seen this guy before? He looks like a funky Pokemon or something like that. But yeah, he's an event, and you scare him away with the fireworks, and yeah, I think it's broken. I don't know. If it did anything, I remember the very first time I saw it, and I had the people fight it, and a couple people died, but other than that, it hasn't done anything. So I don't know if it's working as intended or not, but yeah. So that's just something else that we have to deal with. But be careful when you're doing your trading, because there are, what you think would be going on doesn't happen. It's so amplified of how things go. I know that sounds weird, but it's such a boost that I couldn't even figure out for the life of me of these buildings right here, or can accommodate 5 families, up to 40 people. It would scare me to put one of these things down, because with my population being out of control now, I could just imagine what would happen having 5 families of 8 people each. That is, ooh. And maybe they're doing that intentionally to have us reduce the size of houses. And that's something you're might want to consider, is when you're doing this. But see, then again, it still doesn't make much sense to me, because we won't have the adults, we'll have the kids, but where are you going to house everybody? I don't know. I'm too scared to put one of these things down, because with how much the breeding is going on now, that it's beware, folks. It's absolutely beware. Now, the quick hunting, it hasn't picked up a chicken for me, but I can tell you right now, you get a huge increase in your hunters. If you have 3 hunters out there, they go out there and annihilate everything. They are just, yeah. If you put them in different zones on your map, they'll hunt everything down. So I don't even care if the earthquakes happen, because I can put enough hunters out to where I can decimate the map. And yeah, they do get animals a whole lot. The babies, I'm constantly getting spammed that they picked up a turkey, they picked up a goose, a buffalo. Once you have this skill, and especially first starting out, and you're having food issues, I can tell you right now, getting the quick hunting, they bring in a ton of food. And if you're having food issues, then maybe you're definitely going to want to consider going down with Mal first, because these dense forests, the dense farms, the dense orchards, they put out so much. Just like these right here, I'm gonna be deleting them. I don't need them. And same thing over here. I am more than likely gonna delete at least 3 of these to open up for housing, because it's just not needed. So where everybody's so used to taking up literally half their map with fields, it's like, forget it. You don't need to. I mean, I just started growing cotton, and this is what, the second year that I've grown cotton. I'm not using it right now. I only have 3 farms. They're not even done harvesting yet. And look how much I have. This is incredible. Same thing with my cactus. This is the second year for them, and this is how much I have already. So it's planning your map is actually going to, believe it or not, be harder, because if you're used to the really tight grid building and all that, you're going to have so much space that you're not going to know what to do with it. And then you're going to have this massive population. I mean, look at this. I have 56 homeless people. And right now, I can go ahead and show you 33 of 45. This one right over here has 37 of 45. Over here has 35 of 45. 34 of 45. 33 of 45. 33 of 45. They're refusing to go into it. And see, look at my herbs. My herbs are just dropping like there's no tomorrow. So I better fix this real fast, or I'm going to be in some serious trouble. And I'm just going to spam these down, because I am so tired of running out of stuff. And it's not a bad thing, but it's like, what's triggering it? I should not be getting slammed so hard on any of this, but I am. So I don't know what to do about it. I honestly have just like, show me the way, folks. Show me the way. Show me what I'm doing wrong, because it seems like I'm supposed to be, like, I'm doing everything right, like I'm supposed to. My logic, as far as I know, isn't flawed. But the game's just like, you know what? We're going to do this to you. Have fun with it. And it's like, OMG, okay. We'll do what we can. And I don't know. I mean, look at this number. I'm back up to 206. I cannot keep jobs. I'm 59. And I know people say, well, start trading. And I think that's what it is now that I'm having all these homeless people, I have to do something to relieve it. So And that's what I've been doing between episodes is I've just been sending dumb caravans out and really not caring about how much money I make, just so I can get rid of some of this stuff. And like water, I'm going to send water off again. And here I can do 12,100. Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's 2 pounds or something like that for every one of them. So it's what? Let's do this. 6,000. Yeah, 6,050. What I need. And I'll sell that. And I don't even care about what happens. And I think it's what, Lorenzo that I want. You look at the factions here. Because Carlos, he has... No, I can keep finishing with Carlos, but Lorenzo has... I want these before I start playing with my animals. This is the one I want. So I want to trade with Lorenzo. That's one of the reasons why I've been putting off doing anything with my animals, because why mess around with it? So I just send that off, form another caravan, go to Lorenzo. I wish this would stay at the last setting. I wish it would remember the last person that you traded with instead of it always constantly setting back to Mal. I don't know how many times I've traded with her unintentionally, because it always flips back to its default. But even with sending those, I have to keep doing just crazy random trading just to try to keep my people under control. And so, yeah. But I know this episode's going along, so I just want to give everybody a heads up of what's going on. And now I'm in this vicious cycle of the population. I don't know if I should do a minute by minute playthrough or keep doing what I'm doing and play a little bit and then show you what I've done, because now we're in a mode to where it's like rinse and repeat, and it's so I'm going to build a little bit more and then I'll bring you back. No, I'll do a minute by minute. I like it. I like you guys. So, it's a lot more fun instead of playing by myself. So anyway, that sounded wrong. Playing the game. How's that? So hopefully you're having a good day, good evening, good morning. Right now it's morning for me. And stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.